Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Ayu Dwi Wandirah. You can call me Ayu. I'm fourth semester student from Pamela University. In this video, I want to present the process analysis that I made, as this analysis was made for my final semester project. And and for the lecture, Ms. Reese, thank you for giving me the opportunity. Before I get to the heart of this video, I will first discuss the author who made this short story Yours Ends, namely Jumpa Lahiri. Jumpa Lahiri was born in London, England in 1967. She is the daughter of parents who immigrated from India. She was raised in Rhode Island, where her father worked as a librarian and her mother as a teacher. Lahiri received a B. in English Literature at Barnard College, and later received her M.A. in English, Creative Writing and Comparative Studies in Literature and the Arts, as well as a Ph.D. in Renaissance Studies from Boston University. I will also discuss the element of literature and plot. So there are 5 elements in the literature and there are 5 types of plot, namely, for the element is the first character, second plot, third setting, fourth point of view, and the fifth is the themes. And 5 types of plot, namely exposition, rising action, climax, falling action, and resolution. This is the definition of the literary element. Character is an essential element in revealing the meaning of literary work. In the definition as a verbal representation of a human being. To analyze a character, it is important to focus on the action through dialogue of the character and how they relate to the conflict of a particular situation. And the second is plot. Plot is series of plots that compose the course of the story, starting from the introduction, the conflict until the conflict resolution of the story. In the prose, there are 5 important plot elements, namely, the first is exposition. Exposition is the introduction of the initial characters in the story. In the exposition, there is a background and the introduction of the main conflict in the story begins. And then the second is rising action. Rising action usually begins with an enchanting incident or a moment that turn the story into action as it progresses. There are several moments of conflict that escalate and create tension as the story moves toward its climax. This section will take up the lion's share of the story and can make or break story. The third is climax. Climax is the culmination of suspense, plot, and characters in the story. Often, this is the point the story that things change, or where the main character forced to make a life-changing decision. This should be the point where the reader is not sure where the story will go next. And then the fourth is falling action. After reaching the top of the story, this part is the part that leads to the end of the story, or even this is where the conflict that arises as a result of the climax and begin to be resolved. And then the fifth is resolution. Resolution is the end of the story that can be the conclusion of the story, whether it has a happy ending or a sad ending. From these five elements, it can be continued that exposition and resignation are part of the beginning of the story, climax become part of the middle of the story or the culmination of the story, following action and resolution are part the end of the story. And then for the literary element is the third is setting. The setting relates to the situation, location, and atmosphere of the character in the story. Has a direct and indirect impact on the character and the conflict. It supports and emphasizes the meaning of the story. This shows that the setting is very important to evoke the character's condition to support and complement conflict and characters in conveying the meaning of the story. The fourth is point of view. Point of view deals with who is telling the story. There are three common types of point of view. The first, omniscient, all-knowing narrator. Third person narrator marked by he, she, it when narrator tells the story. The third is first person point of view marked by when narrator tells the story. The fifth is themes. Themes are ideas that are reflected in the story, usually not mentioned, thus the reader needs to revolve the story to revolve the themes. And then to analyze plot. And then the analyzed plot is the first exposition. Kaushik is a graduate student living in America. While living there in the early summer, her mother was diagnosed with cancer, and the following summer her mother died of cancer. A few years later, after his mother died, Kaushik is shocked by a call coming from his father, saying that his father has legally remarried. Kaushik did not attend the wedding and did not eat. At the time, Kaushik had to accept the fact that he already had a new family and had new half sibling. And then the second is rising action. Although it is difficult for Kaushik to accept the fact that his stepsister and stepmother are present, but slowly he agrees with his father to meet his mother and stepsister. Kaushik tries to establish good relations with his stepsister Rupa and Pia. The third climax. This happens when his stepmother and father go to a party at night. At home, there are only two stepsisters, Kaushik, who are fighting, and when Kaushik gets a call from Jessica saying that her stepsister are fighting, Kaushik comes to the point of starting their fight. But when they reach Kaushik's house, Pio and Rupa see a shoebox containing a photo of Kaushik and his late mother. Spontaneously, Kaushik takes the shoebox and leaves the two stepsisters alone at home crying because of Kaushik's anger. The fourth is feeling action. Kaushik leaves home feeling guilty for scolding and leaving his two stepsisters alone. With the shoebox, Kaushik goes for a long drive, and a few days later Kaushik reaches Canada. He does not meet his father, stepsister, or stepmother until the day before he graduates from college. His father is called to explain who the father and stepmother are, are and the two his siblings will move to a traditional house in suburban Boston, but Kaushik has no plan to move in together. Then, after that, on graduation day, he is present by his family at graduation. He takes a picture with his family between Pew and Rupa. The fifth is resolution. Kaushik slowly accepts his current state. He feels guilty about his action toward his stepsister. Kaushik has learned to be grateful family life today. The characterization: the first Kaushik is kind, empathetic, and easily offended by situation. Kaushik father, caring, wise, and compassionate. Pew and Rupa, submissive, compassionate, and kind. Chitra, attentive and kind. Point of view is the first person. Tom is accepts sincerely the change that occur in life. The setting: place, Swarthmore, Massachusetts, guest room, dormitory, kitchen, dining room, basement, Mass Avenue, Bridge, Commonwealth Avenue, Saint Museum, Harold's at Harvard Square, Pizza Restaurant, Motel at Penobscot Bay, Harbor, Canadian Border State Park, Easternmost. Time: morning, afternoon, Christmas Eve, Christmas morning, Sunday during leisure, summer, winter, few days before New Year's Eve. And there are several issues contained in this story include the first, disappointment, and the second is adjustment. When disappointment is one day Kaushik's father got married after Kaushik's mother died, but Kaushik didn't know that neither did Kaushik. Later in the morning, Kaushik's father called him to tell him about it. And the second adjustment. This is adjustment occur when Kaushik's father brings his two step sister and his wife home to meet and be introduced to Kaushik. Kaushik begins to adjust himself to his two stepsister and stepmother, although he has not been able to fully accept a surrogate for his biological mother. This is theory of the issues. The first is disappointment. This is disappointment theory states that one of the natural response to the disappointment is experienced by humans according to Sigmund Freud. 1950, through his psychoanalytic theory, states that every human being naturally wants pleasure and tries to avoid pain. The second is adjustment. Adjustment, according to Skinner's self-adjustment, is a process that includes mental and behavioral response, which is an individual's effort to successfully overcome the needs, tension, conflict, and frustration experienced within him. And this is quotation from the issues. The first is disappointment. Kaushik spoke. I didn't attend my father's wedding. I didn't even know There was a wedding until my my dad called early one Sunday during my final year at Swarthmore. I was awakened from sleep by a knock on my door, followed by the sound of one of my dorm mates calling my last name. I knew before answering that it was my father. No one else would call me before 9. And the second adjustment, the quotation of the adjustment, Kautik's stepmother spoke. I want, I want you to call me Mamoni. She said in Bengalia. His tone was lower than my mother's. With a faint, oddly reassuring earnestness, "Do you mind that?" he asked. This is a friendly manner, smiling, wary of my reaction, and I shook my head, not smiling back. Kaushik spoke to his two stepsisters. "You can call me Kaushik," I said to the girls, and this made them laugh when even louder. Kaushik asked, "And what did I call you?" I asked my stepsister. Rupa replied. "I am Rupa," said the taller one. His voice was like her mother. Pure answer. "And I Piyu," said the man who lost her tooth. Rupa added to the conversation, "We are so happy to be in your room." He spoke stiffly, some distance away, as if reciting something he was forced to memorize. Quotation from short story. "We leave for Florida the day after tomorrow," my father said. "Do you plan to return then?" "I don't think so." "You're going back to college on time?" "Yes." "Then we'll talk in a few weeks." This is part of the end of the story when Kautik left home because of last night's incident with her half-sister. This is my own analyze. From the story, it can be concluded that if we have to imitate some of Kautik's behavior, namely, we have to empathize with human even though we feel annoyed with what he did to us, but we must not do evil because if we do evil, then no one will who want to be close to us. If we feel sorry for other people who are in trouble and a sense of wanting to help arises, many people will want to be friends with us. In addition, it can also have an impact on our life. Cozy also still welcomes the presence of his new family at home, even though Cozy is not happy with his stepmother. Sketcher blessed the presence of his two half sisters, which might reduce his father's affection for Cozy. This is the reference. That's all the analysis that I can convey about the short story Year's End by Jhumpa Lahiri. I'm sorry if there is a wrong pronunciation, and please add it in the comments column if there is information I missed or I did mention. Thank you and see you. Bye bye.